Alright guys, if you hadn't heard the news already, Massive pretty much nerfed a bunch of things, and that sucks. Because I've been, obviously, as I said yesterday in my video, I was farming for a bunch of stuff to make some of these things because I knew about the mechanics, and unfortunately it just doesn't work anymore. Fantastic. So all that time that I basically didn't spend making videos because I wanted to get some of these great pieces for it, terrible. Yep, yeah, terrible. I'm pretty much at a loss of words now just because I'm like, all that work down the drain for nothing. So that's fantastic. If you saw my video yesterday, I was talking about Future Initiative and how it has some great potential. But what I basically didn't get to was that the Artificer Hive healing other skills actually causes that healing to trigger on yourself. So let's say that in the case that you were a tier 6 skill build or something with 100% skill repair on your Artificer Hive, basically meaning that you would get over 2.5 million healing on yourself and for your allies because of that 5-meter radius. And of course, if you had the backpack, you could further decrease the investment that you had in skill tier, meaning you could invest more in armor or weapon damage and still get a incredibly strong heal. And in the case of one build that I was working on, a tier 3 skill build with 2 skill tier rolls, 1 blue roll for armor, and then 3 weapon damage rolls. Now that basically had 1,000,000 health, and my Artificer Hive was healing for about 94%, somewhere around there. So this would basically mean that anytime my Artificer Hive healed a skill, I would get healed completely, and any of my allies near me would basically get healed completely. Because I was pretty much healing a skill for about 3 million health, and I'm getting 120% back as healing, so I'm getting over 3 million health healing on me and my allies. I mean, yes, I can understand where that's OP, and like I said, you know, it's probably going to get nerfed because it is strong. And I don't really think that many people caught on to it, and unfortunately, that's what I was investing a lot of my time in, trying to farm these specific pieces, and that sucks. However, there were a few other changes that are probably going to affect you dramatically. And one of the biggest ones for you guys is probably going to be the Spotter talent. Obviously, they realized that it was double dipping on the skill damage for some skills, and they fixed that. So it's no longer going to give you the double damage bonus, meaning it is going back to that 15%. It is no longer going to be 32.25 or something percent. It's just going to be 15% amplified damage. So that will have a direct impact in the amount of damage that you are doing on your spotter builds if you are using, you know, the drone and the turret. Additionally, if you are a PvP fan, I mean, this nerf is just stupid. They basically decreased the damage that pistols and rifles do again. So they're pretty much going to be in the realm of useless, I would say. Not completely, but this is just a dramatic nerf. Pistols are getting nerfed by 22%. Pistols by 22%. Rifles are getting nerfed by 30%. The M1A is getting basically reduced by an additional 12.5%. Marksman rifles are getting reduced by 30%, and the Nemesis is getting a slight nerf of 11%. Guys, this is stupid. I mean, I love pistol builds, and even with a very well-built pistol build, I could barely withstand getting one single SMG magazine fired into my shield by one of these generic Intimidate builds. Now they're pretty much reducing all of the ranged game in the game. They're reducing any close range ability to counter this with a pistol, and it's just, it baffles me. It literally took me about 5 to 6 shots from my Liberty directly into the opposing player's head when they were running one of these Intimidate builds. Now it's going to be even more difficult for me and easier for them. And this is already the most common build in the Dark Zone. I mean, it's one of the most common builds in PvP. And it just baffles me because it's such a simple, no-thought build. You basically just get amplified damage and bonus armor for doing pretty much nothing. And the reason I hate this is because this is the whole thing they were trying to get away from in the start of the game. They didn't want the face tank dance around meta to be a thing. They didn't want chicken dancing to be a part of PvP. And yet now the most effective thing in PvP is apparently this really stupid, really lame chicken dancing BS where you just run up to somebody with a shield and SMG and drop them in half a second. And yet a pistol build that generally requires you to actually aim for their head and usually take 2 to 3 seconds to actually kill another player, those are the problems. That's the problem that they have in PvP. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you, because, you know, I mean, PvP in this game was pretty much dead to me as it is, and the only reason I've even been in the Dark Zone recently was just because I wanted to farm some gear. Now after this, the builds that I actually choose to fight these hokey meta builds in PvP with, I mean, they're nerfed for no real reason, and yet these simple, easy, rather dumb meta builds are the ones that are allowed to continue. It's baffling to me. It's poor decision making. It is very poor decision on Massive's part, to be honest with you. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why they do this stuff. I don't think they actually understand the effects that these changes have on the game. I really truly believe that they are just completely inept when it comes to balancing PvP. I'm quite frankly annoyed right now. Obviously, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks of intense grinding, just ignoring pretty much everything else, just grinding the raid, the Dark Zone, credits, whatever, just grinding stuff out just to get some of these pieces. And it's basically just all down the drain before I even really get a chance to use it, and probably before a lot of you even knew it was there. So, I mean, I can understand why they changed some of these things, but I really just, it's a kick in the gut right now, so it's kind of annoying. But anyway, I hope you guys now understand if something changed on your build. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.